Summer is finally here in South Korea, and it's time for me to show you about a dozen tapes that I was able to get. So let's dive into this. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we have another video about videotapes, of course, since, I don't know, I'm just taking my time to dive into the poster stuff that I kind of, mentioned a long time ago. It's just, it's taking me time, whatever. It's summer now and it's hot, so I don't feel like it. Anyway, I think most of you anyway are here to check for tapes, and I do have about a dozen to show you today. So let's get into it with the first one. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep the best for last. So if you just can't wait and you just want to see what's this big surprise that I do have, you can fast forward to the end of the video. But of course, I would like you to stick around because there's other like really cool stuff that I will show you today, and many of which I've never showed you before. So there's a couple of like premieres in here. So anyway, I'm gonna go with the non-late releases, because the focus of the video is more like some late releases, like more than half of the tapes. So let's just start with the non-late releases. So the first one I have right here is called oh, I forgot the title, but this is a Ruggero Deodato film. If you're not familiar with that director, he's mostly famous for making the movie called Cannibal Holocaust. If you've never seen it, should I recommend it? Perhaps it's if you have a strong stomach, of course, you should watch it. I've seen that movie like countless times. It's really good. Anyway, the one we have here is a police like cop movie that he made back in the 70s. I believe it's 76, could be wrong. I think it's 76 or 77. It's called Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man. Right, that's the title. Anyway, you have the original title right here on the cover, which is in Italian. They kept it in Italian right here. The cover is not like too good, to be honest. I don't really like it much. It's kind of meh. Looks like a TV movie, to be honest. But yeah, and even the screenshots, like you can tell they were clearly taken off perhaps some video footage. So they maybe like took pictures of an actual screen to slam there. It's not the first time I've seen this. I've seen this with like several movies and like Korean releases, that they would just put screenshots of films like the TV. Anyway, and they look bad. At least they're from the film, I believe. So that's always a good thing. So anyway, yeah, it's not like a top shape tape. I mean, it is clean and everything. I cleaned it up, but it is yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, anyway, it's gonna go for sale. I picked it up because it's Ruggero Deodato, and there's like cult following for this director, and this is kind of like a rare film in South Korea. Like it's the first time I kind of see this, so that's why I picked it up. I thought it was really nice, really cool. Oh, and by the way, the place I went to, you can see the pictures right here. It's in Incheon. Incheon, if you don't know, it's kind of like I wouldn't say like a suburb, but like a city close to Seoul. Although by close doesn't mean like that close, because to get there it takes quite some time. If you're in Seoul, it would take you like over an hour to get there. And I do not live in Seoul. I live like south of Seoul. So for me, it takes me roughly like 2 hours and a half if I'm really lucky. And if I don't get the buses on time, there's traffic and so on, it could go up to almost 3 hours. It rarely does, thankfully so, but it could. So it's like 2 hours and a half for me to get there. It takes really long time. So when I get there, they better have like good stuff, because it takes a lot of my time to get there. Anyway, as you can see in the photos, there's a ton of tapes. I mean, that pile over there, that like square, like rectangle shaped pile, was about 6 feet high. So it took me nearly 4 hours to go through everything. And I cannot tell you how much it was underwhelming, okay? Simply, like, I would go pile after pile after pile, because they're all like strapped up with this like tie wraps, and you have like, let's say about, I don't know, like 25 tapes per bundle, or 20 tapes per, let's say more like 20 tapes per bundle. And each and every bundle was like, okay, nothing there, okay, nothing there. And by nothing, I mean it was like mostly like late 1990s or mid 1990s run-of-the-mill movies that you've seen 1,000 times. I'm not gonna say like Titanic and stuff like that, but the equivalent of that back in the US, like if you go to some, what is it called? The thrift stores and the Goodwill, that's the one I was looking for. So if you go to Goodwill and people keep saying like, oh, there was only junk, well, imagine that times like 3,000, okay? It was 3,000 crappy tapes, and the good ones that I did find, I mean, at least half of the good ones I did find happened to be moldy, and moldy to a point like you cannot repair them, you cannot clean them up. So I left about another like, because I'm going to show you 12 tapes today, but I left about 15 more that was like, oh, okay, this is kind of interesting, but too moldy, too crappy to, you know, care, so I left them there. So anyway, just boiled down to 12 tapes today. But there's some good stuff, okay? So it's not a total loss going there, but I mean, it was a bit disappointing for a few things. So anyway, the next one I'm going to show you, this is a bit something that I would not show you usually because it's the erotica stuff, right? It's called Sexual Body Check. Oh my God. Well, what can I say about this is the actress in the tape here, this lady, which is, she's called Ryu Mio, that's like her stage name, whatever. She was quite famous in the very late 1990s, early 2000, like 2001, 2000, 2002-ish. She made a movie called Shackle, which is not like an erotic film, it's kind of more like a gritty thriller. And of course she got like an amazing body, and that's the whole thing here before the whole plastic surgery thing. And anyway, the movies with her are super rare, and this is one I've never seen before, and that's why I picked it up. So yeah, very curious. Can I show you the back? Yeah, I'm gonna show you the back. So here, it's not too racy. Yeah, the cover was not in super shape, and like there was like some tape in here, that's why it ripped a little bit. So anyway, I changed the clamshell because over there I can change the clamshells. Cleaned it up, it's fine. But this is, yeah, with Lumio, very rare VHS tape. I've never seen this before. So anyway, that's why I show it to you. Yeah, that's it. Next, another one I've seen a couple times in the past. Now it's kind of rare. It's Godzilla 2000, and if you remember, I told you several times that Japanese films were a big no-no in Korea until a certain year, like around, I think, 1995, 94, 96, I could be wrong, but mid-90s, they re-allowed Japanese films to be distributed on the market in South Korea because they were banned. Before that, you couldn't go to a film, a movie theater and watch a Japanese film. Now you can. So anyway, this was 1999, I think, right? Well, it's Godzilla 2000, I think it was made in 1999. So anyway, Godzilla 2000 is one of them that was released, like one kind of like the first wave of like, okay, we're gonna release some Japanese films. So that's kind of really cool. So you got like the Korean release of a Japanese film, and if you look at the overall, sorry, quality of the tape itself, it's in very good shape. There's no like sun fade or barely any, so that's really nice. The tape is very clean as well, so that's a really nice pick in my opinion. Of course, it's gonna go for sale if you're into Godzilla films. That's the only reason I picked it up, because I thought there would be like a cult following for Godzilla stuff, especially with the newer movie that came out, the Godzilla -1 craze. So maybe some people want that. Okay. So let's go with another one that I picked up. This was a bit like, should I pick it up? Okay, maybe this is gonna, you know, I don't know, someone maybe will want this. It's Ted Bundy. But the cool thing with this cover, I mean, Ted Bundy was kind of like a 2004-ish, I think, release. It was like kind of like straight to video when they kind of made Ted Bundy, they made Gacy. I think they made like 3 or 4 serial killers, like biopics, so to speak. And that was one of them. I think the Ted Bundy one was the better of the 2 or the 3 or the 4 that they released, whatever. And the fun thing here also is right here at the bottom, let me focus. So it says continue Spit on Your Grave. So they kind of mash in 2 titles with the, this I Spit on Your Grave series and then the Ted Bundy film. So that's kind of funny. I thought it was, yeah, kind of a nice curiosity. If you're into like serial killer movies and whatnot, yeah, I thought it was a nice pick, and it's something you don't see very often. Also, that was another factor into me getting this tape. It's overall in good shape, although it got like a little bit like smashed on the corner. I was tempted to change the clamshell, but happens to be, you look at the name in Hangul right here on the spine, and it does match. It's the same company. So that's why I didn't change the clamshell. Otherwise I would have, because there was another little thing. Oh yeah, missing this little piece here. But I didn't want to, I wanted to keep the original clamshell. So yeah, if you look on the back, yeah, there you go, a couple of screenshots here. You got the original Ted Bundy right there. So yeah, so maybe this is gonna be interesting for someone. Also, yeah, if you look on the spine, there's no sun fade or anything, so that's also a little plus, should I say. I said 2004, by the way, it's 2002. So anyway, it's close enough. Okay, let's move on in date, and this time we're gonna go to 2004 with Dawn of the Dead. This is the remake of Dawn of the Dead by Zack Snyder, which was actually very good. If you've never seen it, if you just watched the original one, I recommend you to watch this one. And if you watch this one, I recommend you to watch the original one, because they're actually both of them are excellent films. So what else to say about this? 2004, original release, Universal, there you go. I had it in the past. I picked it up because it's unfaded. It does have like a bit of water damage here or humidity. That's why it's wavy at the bottom. But other than that, it's in pretty good shape. And so is the tape itself. So that's always a plus. So there you go. Dawn of the Dead 2004, the remake. Okay, now we're going to go into the late releases. So the official late releases, as you all know from my videos, we always go from like stuff that came out 2006 going up to 2010, and if not, maybe one day that elusive 2011 tape, who knows. So the first one we have is a late 2006 release. So this is December 2006, and it's Mission Impossible 3 with Tom Cruise, obviously. Quite, should I say it's rare? I mean, it's uncommon, okay? Let's put it this way, it's uncommon. And the copy was pretty clean, pretty nice. Very little sun fade on the spine, well, you can tell by the yellow here, but not that much. It's overall a very nice copy. Let me just show you the back a bit more. To focus right there, and it's a CJ Entertainment release, which is a Korean company. And it's of course Paramount right there. So very, very nice. Yeah, and you also got the hologram to show you that it's an original. Let me show you the cassette inside. And of course your Paramount logo that is encrypted, but embossed in the clamshell. So the original clamshell and everything. Okay, let's move on. The next one is also 2006. Is it 2006? That's 2000. Yeah, 2006 as well. I saw like half of this film. I thought it was pretty good. Maybe I should give it another try and watch it completely. It's Capote. My God, I got a brain fart right here, but this actor. Anyway, it was in the Paul Thomas Anderson films like Boogie Nights and so on. He died sadly. Anyway, that is like, I would say like his masterpiece, but one of his most acclaimed films, because I think he won Academy Awards for this film. If not, the movie itself won some Academy Awards. So yeah, It's very good condition, by the way. This one doesn't have any sun fade or anything, so very beautiful copy, and that's why I picked it up. I think it had like a bit of water damage at the top, but it's, you see here, but it's kind of, it kind of fades well with the sky, so you don't really see it. Oh, you see it a little bit here, but other than that, it's in quite good condition. I mean, if you put that on a shelf, it looks very good with the rest of your collection. So let me just open it up, show it to you. You have this fun advertisement for like another movie. They do that sometimes. Yeah, so there you go. Tape is very clean as well. So Capote 2006, I think it was like early 2006. Let me double check. It says, oh my god, it's hard to read. I think it's August, and it even says August 4th, so it's quite precise. So August 4th, 2006. Okay, let's move on. The next one we have, this is Angels and Demons. It's the second movie of the Da Vinci Code, which, by the way, I've never seen. No interest in those films whatsoever. I think they were like kind of serviceable, but that's it. I did have the tape. I did have this actual cassette from my last trip when I went to Daegu. So I picked this tape up, but I didn't have the sleeve, and I did find a sleeve in Incheon, so I picked up the sleeve. So now I have a full copy. It does have some sun fades, sadly, but hey, it's a, is it 2009? Oh my god, let me double check. It's very, very hard to see because it's red on black on the back. Yeah, I think it's like September 2009. So this is quite old, quite late in the VHS cycle in South Korea. So, I mean, that's a cool, very good point. That's why I picked it up. So, Angels and Demons, Da Vinci Code 2, so to speak. So yeah, you have it there. And it's gonna go for sale. Okay, next. This is a very good movie. I love this film. This is a 2008 release of a 2007 film. It's called The Mist. If you haven't seen it, I really recommend it to you. Once again, is there any problem with the cassette or anything? It's actually unfaded. This is a beautiful copy, except for one thing. This little thing here at the bottom, there was like a little rip, and it's all like beat up. So I placed it back in properly, and I changed the clamshell because the clamshell was damaged here, so that's why it damaged the sleeve. But I changed the clamshell and everything, so now it sits nicely. It's just like you can tell it's white. It should be black. So yeah, this is a Planis release. Like I said, early, like first quarter of 2008, and the movie is called The Mist. Very good film from the same director who did Shawshank Redemption. By the way. Okay, next, something I've never got before, although a buddy of mine at Korea Disco, I think, had it for sale before in his shop, his online store on eBay. It's Brokeback Mountain. So what a great title if you're into the Pride Month thing. So there you go, Brokeback Mountain. I've never seen this film, by the way. I've heard it's great. Maybe one day, whatever. It's 2006. We're talking about May 2006. So this one, I think, is one that just couldn't make it in the States on VHS because it was cut off right before that. So it could be like, yeah, kind of like one of your first late releases in South Korea that could go after. Of course, it has like two wonderful actors. Classic for that. And yeah, let me show you the back right here. So it's a nice copy. It's a nice overall. Yeah, it does have a bit of sun fade also, but not too much. At the top it looks great. It's just at the bottom right here, it's just like you see. So tiny bit of sun fade there, but the rest is looking very good. So that's a very great copy as well. Now let me show you the cassette if I didn't. So clean cassette. And also matching clamshell with CJ Entertainment. CJ Entertainment, there you go. Okay, now we're down to two tapes. So I'm sure you're waiting for the big surprise. Okay, the next one we have, it's one that I had the cassette, but my sleeve, no, sorry. I had the sleeve, I had the tape, which I picked up several months ago, but turned out that the cassette was moldy. I mean, I knew it was moldy, but the mold was on the reading surface of the tape and it couldn't be clean, so I trashed it basically. So I picked up my old sleeve, which is actually very clean, in very good condition, and with the new tape that I found yesterday. So now 1 + 1, and then boom, I have a complete copy of Babylon AD once again. So yeah, this is just a title I may have shown you before, but just turned out that when I went to clean the tape, it wasn't cleanable. But now it's a good copy and everything. So this will go back for sale. So if this is something that interests you, I know someone texted me about this before, and I said like, oh, I'm sorry, I had to throw the tape away. But now it's back on the shelf. So if you want it, there it is. Oh yeah, let me show you the back before we move on to the next. So in case you're a bit curious, there you go. Oh, Michelle Yeoh, I didn't know she was in this film. There you go. And this is quite late, by the way. Let me just again focus. 2009, so early 2009, so January 2009. That's cool. And you even have the price here. It says 27,501. That equals to, I mean, the exchange rate right now is horrible for, I mean, if you're not in the US. So that's about, oh my God, I would say maybe $22, $21 US. So that's how much people would pay to have those tapes in their video stores back in the days. Okay, now for the big surprise. I wonder if you guys can figure out what it is. Perhaps you can't, perhaps you can. I kept saying that it's something very rare. It only surfaced once, and it sold for quite a good amount of money before the wave of like late releases are a thing, kind of. It was kind of like at the very dawn of late releases in Korea making a boom, okay? And you can check, I think, with Korea Disco. He's the one who had a copy of this first, and he was the only one ever. No one had a copy of this for so long, and it's a 2008 film, and you're thinking, but why is it so rare? The movie is The Simpsons. The Simpsons, the movie. It took me forever to find this. I mean, every single time I was on the lookout for this film, never surfaced. I did see a couple times some of the episodes of The Simpsons on tape in Korea, but they're pre-2006 anyway, so there's nothing like that rare about them. I mean, they're rare, but I mean, there's no demand. But this movie, oh my God, it was so hard to get. And I did find one, and I did find it in that, it wasn't part of that pile of trash that I showed you previously, but it was from that same shop. And the store, I mean, the one lady that happens to work in the shop, she showed me like a pile that was on the side, and she said, "Oh, this stuff is more expensive, but it's not on the shelf." I'm like, "Well, can I have a look?" She's like, "Sure, go ahead." And there was like a whole bunch of stuff I wasn't interested in, like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, whatever, 2004 movie. But this was sitting there, and I was like, oh my God, this is like, it made my day. Because when I picked this up, I was about to leave the shop. I swear, I was like dead tired. It was super hot in there and humid because it's in the basement. So it's very hard to breathe and everything. Anyway, pick this up. It just made my day, because otherwise it would have been like kind of a meh pickup, and I think I would have waited to make a video. But since I picked this one up, oh my God, this made my day. And let me just show you the totality of this cover so that you can see how beautiful it is and in great shape. Because the other one that surfaced and that was sold on eBay more or less a couple months, a year ago or so, was not in good shape. It had water damage, it was sun faded, and perhaps the cassette was fine, but the sleeve was not. Look at this one. So this is the condition of this one. You can see blue is blue, the yellow is yellow, the pink is pink, like the donut. If there's any sun fade, is is very hard to tell. I would say maybe the lettering right here is a bit more accentuated on the front. It's a bit more like yellow, and here's a bit more like faded yellow, but everything else is beautiful, and there's no water damage, no wrinkles, nothing. And the tape itself, let me show you the cassette. I didn't even touch the cassette yet. I didn't even rewind it. It came like this. I didn't touch it. So I don't even need to open it up to clean it. I'll just need to rewind it though. So it's in beautiful shape. Let me just show you the cassette, because some of you are really into this stuff. I know you're really like, you want to see the whole thing. So here you go. The front sticker, the side sticker. Cassette is even like the video store thing right here. I'll probably remove that unless the person who buys it wants me to keep this on. If you look at the cassette, it's beautiful, so for sure it's gonna play perfectly. So yeah, The Simpsons, the movie. And let's go back to the cover. Look at this, Homer Simpson. It's so cool, such a beautiful copy. Yeah, that's just I thought it was like yeah, it's okay. Anyway, clamshell is also beautiful. Let me show you the back. I said 2008, I'm sorry, it's 2007. So 2007, well, late 2007. It's December 13, 2007. This one was sold for even cheaper. It was $17,600, so that's about $12 that it used to cost the video store to purchase. So there you go, Simpsons, the movie. Finally, damn, took me like over 2-3 years ever since people asked me for this to locate a copy, and I'm so glad I located a beautiful one. Okay, so of course there's like the $1 million question. How much is going to be? Are you going to sell it? Are you going to keep it in your collection? Well, you know, I don't keep tapes in my collection because I'm actually into the gaming collecting and the posters as well, like movie posters, game posters. So I do not keep the tapes. I sell them simply to, you know, feed my my gaming interest and stuff. But this is gonna go for sale. Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna throw this out there. You can tell me in the comments how much you think this is worth. You know, I'm curious. Like, I go with my gut feeling whenever I price those tapes, but you can tell me how much you feel this is worth. Again, you know, just to give you an example, we know that recently I did sell, with the help, by the way, of Korea Disco, we did sell my only copy that I found of Inception, and this one went for $1,150 if I'm not mistaken. And also we had what is it, Iron Man 2, which sold for $765. And if we throw in the mix some of the US release of like late stuff that is expensive, well, we can go, you know, bunker in here with Cars, which isn't even like a good film, which I've never seen, by the way, but I've heard several times that it's not a good film. That sold like for like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, up to $5,000. So, you know, prices are up there. This, again, is the second copy that ever surfaced. It's the nicest one ever found. I don't know if we're ever gonna find another one. I bet we are, but I did say that about Iron Man, and no other copies ever surfaced, ever. Same thing with Inception. I did find 1, 2, maybe 3 in the past. They are in the hands of collectors. We've never seen any other copies, and the one I picked up was from someone I sold it before in the past, in 2018 or 19. So ever since, no copies surfaced. So same thing may happen with this. So anyway, leave in the comment what you think, you know, how much you think this is worth, you know. So yeah, here we go. So I'm just gonna leave it here. So with everything that I picked up yesterday, so there you have it, 12 tapes. Of course, this one is for me. I'm just curious, just some curiosity here. Everything else will go for sale, okay? When I'm gonna put it up for sale, I'm guessing perhaps tonight. Perhaps by the time you see this video, it's already gonna be up for sale. I may hold on to this one for a bit to see, you know, like gauge the price, because this is a super rare one, and also it's one that is extremely in like crazy high demand. So yeah, that's the only reason. The rest of the stuff is things I found in the past, for example, or that I didn't find for the first time just because I passed on it before. For example, like this or maybe this one, you know, or even Capote. But everything else will go for sale. I'm hoping to have them up for the weekend, but again, I'm probably gonna hold on for this one, check for a bit, okay? So anyway, that's it for today, guys. Not gonna take more of your time. Thank you. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't. That would be great. And see you on the next one.